talking with us.
Well, I'm joined now by Lauri Love, who's fighting extradition to the United States for allegedly hacking into various agencies, including NASA. He denies the charges. Lauri, the Wikipedia founder, Jimmy Wales, said today that he thinks this bill is stupid. Do you agree?
It's 299 pages, so you'd have to go into it a bit more detail than stupid. I would say there's a lot of things to be concerned about, certainly for yourselves in the media. The government wants the power to unmask your sources and not to inform you when they violated your professional privilege. That's concerning. There's the concerns about the stockpiling of data, which then paints a target on the backs of internet service providers who may then be hacked, like TalkTalk was last week. And if they're compiling dossiers on people's internet browsing, that's a concern for their customers.
Well, I'll come back to the stockpiling in a minute, but I mean, the government says this is just maintaining current intelligence capabilities. And when you think about the fact that the Telecoms Act which governs some surveillance activity, that was made 3 decades ago. So, I mean, it is ripe for some kind of modernisation, isn't it?
Technology evolves, and it evolves faster and faster all the time, so it's necessary for legislation to keep pace with the advances and the developments in technology. What's happening here is that they're retroactively immunising themselves against practices that were questionably legal to begin with, and they're asking for a lot of new powers. So, yes, we do need to revise these laws, but we need to address the concerns, especially in the light of the Snowden revelations.
Well, David Cameron says that it's about keeping the public safe. Will it do that? No matter what your concerns about the extent of the bill, you were talking about this stockpiling of data, so will it achieve its desired effect of keeping people safe?
Things are often framed as a kind of tension between security and privacy, but that's a little bit sophomoric, and it infantilizes the debate because you have different kinds of security. So perhaps the police having more power to inspect more browsing habits will allow them to deal with terrorism better or organised crime, but it also decreases the security of everyone whose communications can no longer have an assurance that effective cryptography will be used, because if cryptography can have a backdoor, it's broken, it's not effective.
So it could be about choosing different dangers?
Well, sure, certainly. I mean, if you're here in the City of London, you work for a financial technology firm or a bank, then you're going to have a lot of concerns in the imminent future about what assurances you can give to your client's data, to your customers' data, if at any time somebody could come knocking and say, break all of your security precautions for us.
So you're an alleged hacker. You'd find it pretty easy to get around this, would you?
Let's say the TalkTalk hack, the leading suspect is a 15-year-old kid from Ireland who, let's diplomatically put it, might have some social adjustment problems. This is not sophisticated stuff. I'm accused of hacking the Federal Reserve Bank, the US military, NASA, various other agencies. That there is a problem with security. The general state of play of defensive technology has not kept pace with offensive technologies, and the government is constantly trying to give itself more collection powers, more hacking powers, and more powers to undermine our privacy, and it's not actually giving the security that we need in a digital network society.
Well, how easy would it be for criminals and terrorists to evade the intelligence agencies and, you know, hide on the dark web, the deep web, after these new powers are brought in?
It's not difficult. The technology exists for strong end-to-end encryption, and people who have a risk because their activities are under surveillance, because they're criminals or terrorists, or because they're political dissidents, then they are able to use those technologies effectively. So it's the common Joe, it's your friends and your neighbours who are having their privacy rights violated for questionable gain. I'm not saying there won't be any security gain, but we have to consider the whole calculus.
Lauri Love, thank you very much for joining us. John.